Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our weekly child nutrition webinar. My name is Colleen Fillmore, and I am the Idaho State Department of Education Child Nutrition Director. The state agency team is here today to provide updates and answers to your questions during COVID-19 and also as we move into the summer months. Thank you for your continued work in feeding Idaho's children. We continue to hear so many positive things. We know it's a lot of hard work. We've been out there looking at the site, just seeing wonderful, wonderful things. Also, thank you for continuing to send your pictures in. You can see that our wonderful Jessica has put this wonderful PowerPoint together and has added some pictures, and we are really enjoying these pictures, and we hope you are too. So, okay, the agenda for today is I will be giving you some updates and some resource ideas. Then we will have Mary Ann talking to you about some summer food topics, TJ with USDA Foods updates, and then we'll go directly into the questions that are being submitted here during the webinar. We have noticed that in the last couple of webinars that we've had, they've been much shorter with not nearly as many questions. So we did put a survey out that we are asking you to give us feedback on how often you would like to continue to have these webinars, whether you would like to have them weekly or maybe every other week, or maybe you'd rather receive the broadcast emails. We are here to provide to you what it is that you want. So please, if you have input on that, do that survey at the end, and we will put all of the information together and go forward from there. So let's get started. The Idaho State Department of Ed has submitted to USDA for date extensions on 2 different waivers. These waivers are the area eligible and the on-site monitoring. We have requested to extend both of these waivers to September 30th of this year. And at this time, we've not gotten approval for these extensions, but we did want to let you know that we have submitted them. And as soon as we hear, we will make sure and let you folks know. We'll let you know via webinar, broadcast, email, whatever. We'll make sure and get that information out to you. And also, as a friendly reminder that we sent to you, we also do put on the governor's website. Also, late yesterday, we did receive 2 sets of Q&As through 2 different state policies. One of them is solely for fresh fruit and vegetables. So if you do run the fresh fruit and vegetable program, or if you applied for that program this next year, you will want to review that document. And the other Q&A or state policy has to do with all of our program areas except for CACFP. So we will be sending broadcast emails out on those 2 state policies, and we will also be getting those out on the governor's website. And we'll give you a chance to review those documents. If you have any questions on those, certainly feel free to send us an email, or we can address those questions on the webinar this next week. So again, those will come out as a broadcast email. We've not included those as handouts today since we just got those, but we will send a broadcast email out, and we will also have those on the governor's website. Okay, I also wanted to address 4 other nationwide waiver extensions that we did receive. These also are on our governor's website and also have been sent to you via the broadcast email, but we felt that it would be important to also talk to you and just briefly bring these up to you. We received these extensions on May 14th in response number 22. And this is a nationwide waiver to allow non-congregate feeding in the programs that extends through till August 31st, 2020. This is an extremely important extension that we've received, and some of you have asked about this in past webinars, and so we were relieved, I think is the best word to use, when this extension came through. So again, very important. It's the non-congregate feeding waiver that does extend through August 31st, kind of the backbone to all of the waivers that we have. The second extension that we received was the COVID-19 Response 23. This is a nationwide waiver to allow meal service time flexibility in the national school lunch, school breakfast, and child care, and that goes also till August 31st. Now, this does not include the summer food or the seamless, only because those two programs were covered under another response, which was the COVID-19 Response 17. So as you read that one, don't be concerned, because if you see that it does not include summer food or the seamless, because it is covered in a different Response 17. Okay, the third extension, nationwide extension that we received was the meal pattern flexibility, and that was extended through June 30th. So we will see, and all of these are, their extensions are a certain date or until the expiration of a federally declared public health emergency, or whichever is earlier. So we'll see what happens with USDA if we get to the end of June and we feel that we need that to be extended further. You can see that USDA with some waivers are extending way out, and in others they're kind of taking smaller steps. And the fourth nationwide waiver that we received an extension on is to allow parents and guardians to pick up meals for children, and this was extended to August 31st. So the other thing I'd like to share, and this is something that Linda has really been keeping track for us, so big thanks to Linda for that. As of the beginning of this year till right now, she checked it Monday, which was May 18th, we have seen slightly over a 12% increase in our direct certification. And we all know how direct certification has a direct link with CEP. So if you have any questions on that, please feel free to contact the NSLP team. And the last thing I wanted to share with everyone is, as a team, we are updating our resource handout that we have been including in every webinar. And this week we listened to a No Kid Hungry webinar that talked about non-congregate meal practices. So we have included that on the handout. There's a GoToMe campaign fund, which is through SNA. And then we also have some other grant and opportunity resources that we put up there. If any of you are hearing of resources that we are not sharing, please let us know, and we are happy to include this in the handout so everyone throughout the state also has access to this information. There's a lot of different resources that are out there, and it's kind of hard to keep track of all of them, so please share if you've heard of anything that we haven't. So that is all I have for now. Again, thank you for all of the hard work that you are doing out there and feeding our children. And I will pass the screen, or I don't think she has a screen, but I'll pass it next to Mary Ann for some summer food topic information.
Awesome. Thank you, Colleen. Good morning, everyone. This is Mary Ann Leiby. Happy Thursday. I wanted to just provide a quick update regarding the 2020 Summer Food Service Review this summer. For those who are scheduled for a review this summer, as I've mentioned in past webinars, that we have changed the format to a desk review instead of doing a face-to-face visit to adhere to physical distancing. The desk review is a two-step process. The first step is a set of questions via SurveyMonkey, and the second is uploading supporting documents into your My Idaho CMP. We began sending the review notification letter yesterday to about 9 sponsors whose packet has been approved. And so I will be working on sending out the rest this week and next week, just depending on, when we get a chance to fully approve their sponsors packet. So please keep an eye out for those review notification letter. And as always, if you have any questions about the survey or the uploading of the documents, this is definitely a first doing the review in this format. And so we are definitely learning as we go. So we thank you guys for your patience. So please, for any questions or concerns, contact the SFSP team here at the state agency anytime. So that is all the update that I have. I will pass it on to TJ.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mary Ann, for sharing that information on summer feeding. And as most of you know, USDA Foods and food procurement in general is kind of a hot topic right now with the COVID pandemic, schools trying to manage, take care of budget constraints, food constraints, unique models for serving students. So the USDA Foods team, we've been trying to keep our ear to the ground for any information that we can share so that we can try and make sure your jobs are as easy as possible and obviously give you the resources that you need to be successful in these kind of unique times. So the first thing that I wanted to mention was that yesterday there was a webinar. It was a panel discussion. The webinar was promoted by the American Commodities Distribution Association, also known as ACTA. And one of the panelists was our very own Lori McCluskey. She did a really great job of letting individuals know kind of where the constraints in terms of distribution might lie. So if you did not get a chance to listen to that webinar, it is available. So we'd like to just make sure that if you need access to that webinar, we can certainly share with you. And then the other thing that I wanted to cover, and I'm not sure if one of the other panelists are on mute, but I'm getting feedback, so I don't know if it's me. I'm going to look and see if there's any questions about that, just because I want to make sure. I don't see any. If you're having a problem hearing me, please make sure that you indicate in the question bar so that I can know that. I also wanted to cover the use of USDA Foods. I know that everyone's working really, really hard to get those meals out to students. One of the things that's critical is ensuring that you are able to use foods that you have already in some fashion procured. And of course, those would be USDA Foods. So we wanted to share the newest Part 2 resource on USDA food use and give some examples of ways that you can provide multiple meals worth of meal service to students by using your bulk foods. Obviously, there are some constraints in terms of how foods are prepped if they are sent in bulk format. But this handy resource that I have up on my screen gives you some ideas of the ways that you can utilize some of your USDA foods. And then we also put together if I can get this to move, there we go. On the second side of this, and this resource is available in the handout section, but it's just a reminder about the opportunity to distribute meals in multiple days. So while it seems logically simplistic, there's some math involved. So we just provided one scenario for milk math and ways that maybe if you're finding that financial constraints for procuring half pints is, or just supply chain constraints, you might be able to supply or distribute to students gallons, half gallons. So we just wanted to give that as an example to kind of get your brain thinking about, we've talked about this before, cans of fresh fruits, cans of vegetables, utilizing the frozen vegetables that you have, utilizing what we would consider the pre-cooked or fully cooked or ready-to-eat types of foods where it's kind of a heat and serve that you would normally use in your school kitchens. So hopefully you find this resource of some value to you. I have heard from a few school districts that have some concerns about They're not serving meals right now, so they want to make sure that the foods they have in their storerooms can be utilized. As a reminder, any school district that has USDA Foods or even self-procured through your co-op or your program, those foods can be donated to any nonprofit organization in your community. So if you need additional guidance on that, please make sure to reach out to the USDA Foods team and we can help you through that process. But just make sure that your foods aren't sitting if you can't use them. We do know some schools are not going to be serving summer feeding this year. So we just want to make sure those foods flow out to the community and to the children that really need them the most. And with that, I will go ahead and turn the time over now back to Colleen. Thank you all so much for your time.
Okay, thank you, TJ. Hey team, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, Colleen.
Okay, perfect, thank you. We were having some audio problems before the webinar started, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be talking to myself. Okay, so the first question is, I'm ready to submit my renewal information for our schools. I thought I heard in last week's webinar that we do not have to do anything with seamless summer food sites when completing the NSLP renewal. I couldn't find it addressed in the Q&A from May 14th. Thank you. Linda did say that is correct, that seamless summer should not be completed at this time. Linda or anyone else on the NSLP team, did you have anything else to add to that? Okay, sounds like that is the answer then. If you have any other additional questions on that, just let us know. Okay, so the next question is, I am very concerned with the guidelines that CDC has put out for schools to resume. What do you anticipate meal service looking like in the fall? And I'm not sure if anyone else on the team has additional information beyond what I'm going to say, and if so, please jump in. But at this time, we're really taking everything day by day. As soon as we get information from USDA, if anything is extended beyond the waivers that we addressed earlier in this webinar, we will make sure and let you know. But at this time, it's just impossible to predict what is going to be happening as far as this next fall, since things just seem to be changing so quickly. But again, please feel comfortable, at least in the fact that when the state agency gets information, we will definitely let you know what we have heard. Okay, next question. I am concerned about time to implement fall service. We are finding in each scenario that I run, we are time restricted. Time scenarios involve split days or 4 lunches. Can we talk about extending this to at least November, just to help with service and social touching with service and our time is so restrictive to accomplish a safe environment and reduce liabilities. Linda was asking, are you talking about extending a waiver? Let's answer it kind of based upon that at this point. And again, if the team has anything else to add, at the beginning of this webinar, we did share, and we have shared this through broadcast email and the governor's side also, the extensions that we have received so far. And we realized that it does not go into November. We also addressed at the beginning of this webinar that we have put in 2 additional Idaho extensions. Idaho Department of Ed has taken every single flexibility that USDA has offered. That has been a strong message from the superintendent and also from our team, that we want to give you every flexibility that we have. And so far, as we addressed earlier in this webinar, those go through August, and we have asked for some to go through the end of September. Does anyone else have anything to add? Because this is a really important question and concern.
Hi, Colleen. This is TJ. I wanted to mirror and echo that sentiment, but also I do think that these types of conversations, the input from the school district level is critical to the way we as a state agency move the conversations down the road with USDA and our regional office. And so we do talk weekly with our regional office about some of the concerns, and this really does help us by providing exact examples of the concerns. So just to mirror what you said, Colleen, we're doing our best, but also please, let us know what these scenarios from your perspective look like so that we have the information, the actual verbiage to provide so that we can, make sure that everyone that's making decisions is aware of the actual constraints that, our RAs and our sponsors are concerned about.
Yeah, I'm really glad TJ brought that up. The scenarios that we have gotten, we have forwarded those to Western Region, as other states in our region have too. So thank you for that input, TJ. Okay, next question. We received...
Colleen, this is Linda. Can I interject something?
Absolutely.
Good morning, everyone. A lot of the questions we're getting are on renewal and what we see you doing in the fall. And every school district is different based on your infrastructure and your administration. So we can't tell you what to do. You need to come up with a plan and give it to us, and we'll give it to USDA. So we're not prescribing what you need to do. You need to come up with a really good plan and reasons behind it so that we can give it to USDA.
Yeah, good input, Linda. Thank you very much for that clarification. Okay, next question. We received an email this week that CMP training will be online only this summer. Can you elaborate on what this will look like? When will training be made available to CMP portals? And Heather, it looks like you want to take that one.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. This is Heather Bloom, and just an update on the training. So last year we had online trainings that were available in conjunction with a face-to-face training. We are going to make the same online trainings that were available last year available this year with updates and revisions to make sure they're current and still relevant and accurate. That update process is happening currently, and that full set of courses will be available June 1st. So some of those courses will be visible in the CMP training portal. You'll see a little designation that those are coming because they were all set to be available on June 1st. So those online trainings are the full responsibility for training this year. There will be no face-to-face training in conjunction with those. We will make sure to send out an email list of the courses that are required to be completed to meet annual training requirements as soon as those courses are available. So that should be coming next week. And sponsors have all summer to complete those. In addition to August, it will definitely extend through the time frame that face-to-face training would have occurred should we have held that level of training. So yeah, look for an email about that, and then pay attention to the CMP training portal when those come live, June 1st.
Thank you very much, Heather. Okay, next question. Thank you, commodity team. We use our commodities every day, reducing our cost to our district. We have bowls, brown rice, chicken fajita, fresh bell peppers, DOD, and broccoli spears. We serve all our meals frozen with reheating meals instructions. We also use our fruits, in parentheses, cherries, blueberries, in little 5-ounce cups. We have reduced purchases by 80%. Thank you so much. And so that is wonderful news. So good job, A+ for you. Does anyone, TJ or anyone else on the USDA team, want to add anything?
Thanks, Colleen. The only thing I wanted to add is, first of all, thank you for sharing your success stories. And if others have ideas for school districts that might be struggling, please feel free to share them. We just want to make sure that, when you're out there implementing under stress, sometimes your creativity gets a little bit quashed. And if there's any way we can assist, and also if schools find that they're struggling with receiving products, or there becomes some constriction in the food supply, please keep us informed. That's really, you're the eyes and ears on the ground. And so we just really appreciate the success, and any struggles that you may be having, communicate those to us, and we'll do our very best to make sure that we can find some solutions. So thank you for that. And Colleen, back to you. Thanks.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add on top of this really good example of how USDA foods are being used is I visited a site this last week, and they had some great labeling on their food as far as instructions and how to keep the food safe. And so anyway, really good ideas out there. Okay, so next question. Do we need to donate all of our commodity dry storage foods, or can we carry some of it into this next school year? So TJ, do you want to take that one?
Yes, thank you. And really great question, because I know we're talking a lot about, if you can't use it, donate it. But the thing that you should still be doing is doing your regular inventories, knowing what products you have. If you have dry storage foods that will carry into the next year without becoming outdated, absolutely that inventory is yours to hold on to. We know that would be the norm. Wrapping up the end of a school year, typically our schools do carry over some foods, frozen, some dry storage. So the inventory is absolutely yours. I just encourage that everyone in your spare time, I know that probably is not really true that anyone has spare time, but make sure you're conducting those inventories, that you're documenting your receiving dates, and then if you cannot use foods because it would become less viable, then make sure that you're donating it. Otherwise, it is yours, and hold on to it. So thanks for that question.
Okay, thank you, TJ. Our next question is, our superintendent wants us to have grab and go for next school year if possible. So having waivers to allow that would be useful for us, and definitely we agree with that. We were happy to see that the non-congregate waiver was extended to the end of August. We were hopeful that it would have been extended longer. So we will see where we're at that point, but we completely appreciate that comment. And again, going back to Linda's comment, if the district has a specific plan that they want to send in to our state agency, we are happy to forward that to Western Region. So does anyone else on the team have additional information you would like to share? Okay, so next question. I have already submitted our application packet. How will we handle changing meal times if we find we cannot serve in the time stated due to COVID? At this time, it is a guess. And so Linda, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, that one's easy. You can always go in and update the site application when you know of the changes in times after we approve it. So we will go forth with what you have in there, and in August or September, go in and change it with the updated times.
And just to add to what Linda said, we do appreciate this question and the understanding of how important it is to update the information in our program to assure that you have approval for that. So thank you for that question. So at this point, we are at the end of all the questions that we have. So anyone on the state agency team have anything that you have thought of that you maybe want to add? So I will just continue to encourage you to send in these wonderful pictures. It really does show the great things that you're doing, and we are sharing them with the Department of Ed communication team. So hopefully we are seeing some of those out on the social media as far as Facebook and Twitter, etc. So again, I don't see any additional questions. So it looks like this webinar might be coming to a close. some excellent questions that were asked here. So again, appreciate everyone's hard work. Please take the survey at the end and let us know the frequency that you would like to see these webinars. And also, as a friendly reminder, these webinars are archived. So if you have someone that is unable to attend, please remind them that those webinars are out there that they can listen to. And we did just receive one more question. If there are students enrolled in our district that are learning at home, can we offer them meals? Great question. So who would like to take that?
Colleen, this is Marianne. I can take that question. If a sponsor is operating an open SFSB or summer feeding site, then yes, you can offer those students meals, because any open sites can distribute or offer meals to children ages 1 to 18. Thanks, Colleen.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Again, that is our last question. So this will be the close of this webinar. Again, thank you to everyone, and thank you to not only all of you out at the local school districts, but I do want to also thank the staff that I work with at the state agency. They've been working very hard for everyone. So big thanks to everyone. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow is Friday. I don't know if that brings any relief for people anymore, but have a wonderful weekend, and please know that our door is always open if you want to call us or email us. And if we don't hear from you, we will talk with you next week during the webinar. Thank you very much.